So in this video, I'm going to show you how to square a matrix. And I'm going to square this matrix AB right here. And the first thing is what you don't do. You definitely do not just go in and square each of the numbers. So I'm not just going to have 4, positive 1, 425. You do not do that. Instead, you remember that squaring something means multiplying it by itself. So what we will really be doing is we will be taking the matrix 2, -1, 20, and 5, and we will be multiplying it by itself. So we will be multiplying this by another 2, -1, 20, and 5. Because of the rules of matrix multiplication, you can only square a square matrix. So 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, etc. That's the only way it's going to work out. Anyway, so from this point forward, it's just a matter of how do you multiply any two matrices together. And what you do is you take the rows from the first matrix and you take columns from the second matrix. All right, so since this is a 2 by 2 matrix and this is a 2 by 2 matrix, of course the inner dimensions had to be the same for it to work out, and they are, so that's great. But then the outer dimensions show you the dimensions of your answer. So the product will be another 2 by 2 matrix. So let's go ahead and start by setting up a large 2 by 2 matrix. All right, and I will show that like this. Okay, so now I'm going to take my first row. Okay, so that's 2, -1. Even though it's a row, I like to just write it vertically. So you put the first row throughout the first row. So I'll put 2, -1, and I will put another 2, -1. Now the second row I will put throughout the second row. So that means we will have 25 here and here. All right, and like I said, we get the columns from the second matrix. So the first column I will put throughout the first column. So I will have my 220, 220. And then I will put the second column down the second column. So I will have -1, 5, -1, 5. So now we multiply and add to get the final answer. So we're going to just multiply all of these. So 2 times 2 is 4. -1 times 20 is going to give us -20. And then if you add those up, you're going to get -16. All right. Now 2 times -1 is -2. -1 times 5 is -5. And if you add those up, you get -7. And 20 times 2 is 40. And 5 times 20 is 100. If you add those up, you get 140. 20 times -1 is -20. 5 times 5 is 25. If you add those up, you get 5. So these four numbers will be the numbers that form the product of AB times AB. In other words, matrix AB squared is the matrix -16, -7, 140, 5. And that is how you square a matrix. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.